And welcome back. More violence has rocked Bangkok. Shots fired by unidentified gunmen rattled parts of the Thai capital during the early morning hours. No one was injured. Also today, anti-government protesters continued to make their voices heard. They rallied outside the National Police headquarters in Bangkok, demanding justice for 5 people killed in 2 separate attacks over the weekend. About 2,000 people took part in that rally. Anti-government demonstrators are also demanding that caretaker Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra step down and that political reforms be implemented.
Ukraine continues a delicate and challenging climb out of 3 months of political chaos. The country's acting parliament is feverishly courting Western powers for emergency financial aid. As James Aiken reports, the country's grim finances are just one of many urgent matters facing the divided nation.
As the dust settles after months of protests in Ukraine, international leaders have begun poring over the books, and Ukraine's finances are dire. The country has major debt repayments coming up in June, but analysts say it will have difficulty making it that far without major help soon. Russia's bailout is on hold after the Ukrainian parliament removed President Viktor Yanukovych. He's still in hiding after fleeing the capital. Ukraine is looking to Europe and the United States for help. With budget difficulties of their own, cautious Western nations want to see reforms to tackle corruption. They also want Ukraine's leaders to ensure a new government is inclusive.
Involve people from different parts of Ukraine, including from the east and south of Ukraine. It's important for Ukrainians to be able to make these decisions together after the terrible divisions of recent months.
The message of inclusion comes amid growing worries that Ukraine's territorial integrity is under threat. Ukraine's acting president is holding Security Council meetings to deal with what he describes as dangerous signs of separatism. Trouble is brewing in eastern and southern Ukraine, where Russian ties are strong. In the Crimean Peninsula, protesters have been rallying against the new authorities in Kiev and pleading for protection from Moscow. So far, Russia has been letting the situation play out. But on matters of Ukrainian sovereignty, Russia continues to be vocal. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Russia is not objecting to Ukraine being part of a common European family, but he added Ukraine must not be forced to choose between close ties with Russia and the West. A rescue with outside lenders can't be agreed until there's a national unity government, which won't happen until Thursday at the earliest. James Aiken, TVB News.
The United States has expelled 3 Venezuelan diplomats in response to Venezuela doing the same exact thing. The move comes as countrywide protests against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro rage on. The U.S. State Department announced that 3 members of the Venezuelan diplomatic staff in Washington have 48 hours to leave the U.S. Maduro did the same thing back on February 17th when he expelled 3 U.S. diplomats from Caracas on suspicion they supported plots to overthrow him. Much of the violent protests have died down. The political unrest in Venezuela still remains tense. This is why former U.S. President Jimmy Carter has offered to be a mediator. He's planning a trip to Venezuela on April 29th and wants to meet with Maduro and opposition leader Enrique Capriles to bring about a peaceful resolution. All right, Chris, what do you have for us in sports today?
Rough times for Manchester United. United's hopes in the Champions League are hanging by a thread after they were decisively beaten in Greece last night. As Tony Saban reports, it's a new low for United, who've endured a difficult season.
Manchester United went into their match against Olympiacos suggesting they could go all the way in the Champions League this year, but instead they fell flat on their face as Alejandro Dominguez and Joel Campbell combined to inflict a 2-0 defeat on the English champions. United coach David Moyes admitted it was another disastrous performance from his team, who faced an uphill battle to turn it around in the second leg.
Indiana's Paul George scored 12 of his 20 points in the third quarter to set the Pacers up for a comfortable win over the LA Lakers in the NBA.
And finally, one lucky couple in the U.S. state of California was out walking their dog when they discovered a buried treasure of gold worth $10 million US. Here's that story.
The famous gold rush of California was 166 years ago. So imagine the shock of one husband and wife who stumbled upon a treasure trove of gold in their own backyard without having to pan for it. Only this gold is in the form of 1,427 rare coins. Found in the sprawling hilly area of what is known as gold country, the coins range in years from 1847 to 1894. This coin expert believes they are indeed Gold Rush era coins.
And it was the coin of the realm. The miners came, they went to the San Francisco Mint, they turned in their gold dust, and they got back $20 gold pieces. Those days you didn't pay for things with bank wires. You paid for things with gold.
But why were such valuable coins buried in the ground?
What stories these $20 could tell.
As expected, the rumor mill is in overdrive, from suspicions of an old bank robbery gone awry to someone who just didn't trust banks back then.
Might have been stolen. It might have been just somebody buried the gold and then something happened to them.
What makes the coins extremely valuable is their near-perfect condition. Because paper money was illegal in California until the 1870s, coins were the main currency. So it's extremely rare to find coins of this era uncirculated or in such high quality. Either way, this is definitely a life-changing discovery for the couple.
And it's literally a buried treasure story. Walking along the road, seeing a can full of gold coins. Pretty exciting for them, I would say. I don't know a lot about them, but I heard that they needed the money.
The couple have decided to remain anonymous, in part to avoid a renewed gold rush to their property by modern-day prospectors. They will sell most of the coins through Amazon. And after paying off bills and donating to charities, they plan to live a much happier life with their newfound fortune.
And that's a wrap of our news.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was humid with fog patches this morning. It was warm in the afternoon. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the weak northeast monsoon is affecting southern China. Today's temperatures range from 17.9 to 24.1 degrees. And the relative humidity was between 73 to 96%. Moderate east and northeasterly winds in the morning, light winds in the afternoon. The current temperature is now 21 degrees Celsius with the relative humidity standing at 84%. A trace of rainfall has been recorded since midnight. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be mainly cloudy with a few light rain patches, warm with sunny periods tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 18 and 24 degrees. It will be humid in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's air quality health index is forecast alert to moderate. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 9. And here's the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing, cloudy in Seoul, showers in Tokyo. Bright in Bangkok, sunny in Ho Chi Minh City, bright in Manila. Cloudy in Kuala Lumpur, sunny in Singapore. Thunderstorms in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi, bright in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Sunny in Brisbane, showers in Sydney and Melbourne. Cloudy in Toronto. Cloudy in Vancouver, rain in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Showers in London and Paris. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.